Okay, here is your demonstration on how to use a projector. Right now we do have the lights off. There's kind of an emergency light here that you have to kind of deal with. There's a light switch kind of at the end of this hallway. You can flip on and off, but this light will always be here. It's the easiest one to, if you're just by yourself, it is the easiest one to kind of use because there's an electric outlet here. Unless you have a longer cord, you can plug in here, go down here and use the darker side of the area to be able to get your stuff. Otherwise, the overheads are in this side room. It's typically locked kind of thing, so you might have to ask me to go open that unless I have it propped open for students to use because we might be using it a lot that day. So I'm going to go in there, grab one. So the overheads are typically in the back over there. So I'm going to kind of bring you over here. Okay, now that you're a little closer, this is all set up. It does have a power strip on the bottom here that you can use. So there's 5 of these, or maybe even 6, and they're not all going to have this, but this is in case you're going to line up like 2 or 3 or 4 of these along the wall here. It can take 5, and that's kind of our max on there. But just kind of for today, this is the only one that we need. I'm going to unravel this cord. It does have a long cord, so I could plug it in here, take it down over there because it might be a little bit darker, but this will probably be good enough. Plug that in. This one has a light switch right on the side here. It turns on right there. Okay, for this overhead, I did grab a few past projects. So I have Scooby-Doo, stuff from the Lion King here, and then I have a mouse, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. What's his name? Tom and Jerry. Jerry. Sorry about that. So I have those just to kind of show you a couple things. Now this demonstration is for any project that you'd want to use a transparency for. Typically at the beginning of the project, I will tell you is like, hey, we're going to use a transparency for this, so you know what to use it for. If you are an advanced student, there are a little more limitations on what you can actually do. But this one is going to be for a painting. This should already be gessoed, painted white. You could use this for the mosaic, and I think for another sculpture project you could use it for. So typically it's a tool that you should be able to use when you do your project. So I'm going to get this all set up. So the first thing is that you'll notice along this wall you're going to have these hangers. And what you do is you set this across here like this, and you try to get this so it doesn't fall. Normally it's okay, but this one, for some reason, you will find that they don't always stick. And if that's the case, you're going to need to grab some larger tape. Now, you don't ever want to grab the blue tape or the green tape because that's a low tack tape for a painting class. So find the larger white tape, and there's a tape drawer in there underneath the copies that's closest to the window. And so I'm going to set this up right here, and I can just put this tape alongside there so it holds it up just like that. When it comes to using the overhead, you're going to want to put the image on, turn this on like this, and be able to line it up on the wall there. Now it's getting caught on the cord here, move that back. Now you do have a couple things to use to adjust this. You can go forward and backward. It also has a knob here that goes up and down. Those are the 2 things that you have to be able to get this in focus the best you can. When you get it in focus, I typically want you to come get me because sometimes if you have a large piece, or not large, but let's say this is a large piece, but then your image is like this small on there, you're wasting all that extra space. So I want to make sure that when you are doing this that you understand you want to get your image as large as possible because it is easier to do it. Now let's go look at this and see how well it's lined up. So this is not right. Here's my canvas, here's my picture. So I need to be able to turn it until it looks just right on there. So I'm going to take this and then I'm going to flip it. Now the original looks like this, where you have Simba all the way on this side as opposed to the other side. but I could flip it if I don't like that arrangement. And I could have it like this. Now, on yours, it might seem, well, that's pretty good quality, but for me looking at this real life, this is super fuzzy. So I'm gonna see if I can fix that. Okay, that is much better. As I can see these lines a lot clearer, it'll be easier for me to trace it off. Now, you're not always gonna be able to see everything. So this is a tool. You still have to rely on your own, creativity or your own ability to be able to draw on stuff and to be able to pick some of the stuff out. But this will help out with most of the main lines. Now, this is still not centered, obviously. Okay. Then I have some of the hair. I'm going to bring this down. So this works for this project pretty well. So it's not a square, it's not a super long rectangle. I fit everything in there. But you can also make these choices where it's like, well, I don't really want to do this body. I want to focus on the head mainly. So I'm going to actually flip this. I'm going to push this back a little bit farther. And I might just focus on just the head. Get this head centered right along here. And I might want to just do that. So you can kind of imagine, let me see if I can kind of crop it off right here, is crop your image. You don't have to do it as the original artist did it. You can become your own artist and start arranging things differently. You don't have to do everything. And when you zoom in like this, especially if you're doing like a mosaic, you want to do this because you want large shapes to be able to kind of fit things in. For painting wise, you could, either one would be fine because you can get more detailed with it and stuff like that, or if it was like an oil pastel. So you can also do that. Now I'm going to switch over to another one. This is Scooby-Doo. Now I can't go back any farther. I can't make this any larger because the transparency that I made was too small. Okay, so if this happens to you, hopefully I will catch it, but I make my mistakes, is I will have to reprint this one out. Now, I also have Jerry right here. You can see that he's a lot bigger, and again, I'm bringing the transparencies up here because you can see the size difference, between them. So I'm going to set this back. Now, I could, for purposes of just kind of doing the head and the face, maybe it would be fun to do more of a kind of a pop art and just zoom in on that and crop the rest of this stuff out. So don't feel like you have to do the whole thing. Otherwise, I'm going to take the cart, I'm sliding it all the way up here. Super fuzzy. Let's see if I can, good. I can just turn this like this. Don't know if I can get it any better than that. But because this is so large, I really can't do anything beyond that. Okay, so if you're okay with this size, I think it should be a little bigger because it just makes everything a little bit easier, but this would probably still be okay. If it's for a mosaic, it would not be because you just have way too much wasted space out here. And, these shapes are just too small to be able to get in with glass, but if it was a painting or something, it would probably be fine. Okay. Once this is all done, especially if it's your first time, call me over so I can check it out, make sure you got everything pretty good. Otherwise, when you are all done, you got to clean up. You got to put your stuff away.